Good Saturday afternoon to you. Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights, VELCO Weather Hazards Forecaster. This VELCO Weather Outlook video is driven by 802cars.com, representing 802 Toyota, Twin Cities Subaru, and 802 Honda, and they're all located off of Exit 7 on Interstate 89. Broad picture here. You can see this area of low pressure. This is going to be our nor'easter tracking through. This system is going to be affecting us on Sunday into Sunday evening. See the latest heads up, and there'll be more information forthcoming later on today. In the meantime, looking at the broader part of the country here, we have a lot of jet stream energy dropping into a sort of a shortwave trough here. Several different little waves, and that's what's picking this up and forming this nor'easter, which will develop off the coast and then take a track south of Nova Scotia, affecting us with snow and some mixed precipitation during the day on Sunday. So we have a beautiful day in progress across a wide area of New England and northeast United States. Here comes our nor'easter. And again, this is the left-hand side panel here is the most recent computer model run. This is about 12 hours before that point. So as we run the model, you can see the precipitation and working on through and then exiting. It's a quick-hitting nor'easter, not super-duper strong, but at the same time, it's going to leave a swath of mixed precipitation along with some snow that could be on the wet side with a narrow swath of snow, generally northern Bennington County, and then continuing into Rutland County and probably Windsor and portions of southern Orange County to be most affected. We have areas of higher pressure, or one ridging of high pressure center that will provide us with a couple of days of fairly nice weather, good project weather as a matter of fact. This will be taking place on Monday into Tuesday. And then here comes our weather system. This is the next one that's going to be moving in with rain on Wednesday, and you can see it's general cold enough to snow in the St. Lawrence River Valley, just a little bit north of the Vermont-Quebec border. Maybe some parts of the Northeast Kingdom right near the border could see a little bit of a mix. And then as the storm begins to depart on its backside, a little swath of snow will work on through. Also some gradient winds, and that's the other issue we're looking at with some gusty west to northwesterly winds as that area of low pressure departs. Right now it doesn't look like a huge deal, but at the same time you can see that this storm system beyond our period begins to hit a blocking area of higher pressure and doesn't know where to go and then tries to rotate backwards. So this is going to be a new weather regime here once we get past, it looks like roughly about Thanksgiving Day. And then our next big weather maker is going to be coming into play with more rain. So it's November is a cruel month for utilities, and it continues much like last year. Looking at the GFS and mixed in with the Canadian, the GFS ensemble, you can see the main precipitation makers here are on Sunday, a little drying out, and then our next weather system to move in on Wednesday into Thursday. So in terms of total QPF, this is what it looks like. So we're talking around 4/10 of an inch. Again, this is centered on Montpelier, Vermont, KMPV. And you can see our next weather system with its next shot of moisture. Looking at precipitation type, and again, this is the GFS ensemble, so it's a little bit of a mix. We're looking at potential freezing rain, mostly all snow, and then rain changing to snow for the Thanksgiving Day storm, and that looks more in order with the European, in pretty good agreement there. Looking at our 2-meter temperatures, you can see that we go above the freezing mark a little bit today, and then during the day tomorrow as well, and we rise above the freezing mark and staying above freezing once we get into that period Wednesday with rain, and then into Thursday, and then a pretty sharp cold front lowers the temperature. That is the 2-meter temperatures, and basically 850 hectopascal temperature will show similar situation here. Cool off, warm up, cool off, with a pretty dramatic cold cool off with an Arctic chill developing probably beyond this period. And then precipitable water, you can see that targeting the main thrust of moisture working on in. We dry out a little bit of a thrust of moisture, but the main thrust again with the Thanksgiving Day storm or on Wednesday, and then a major drying out as much colder Arctic air pulls in, and that means we'll see much more drier conditions. Now, if these weather patterns look a little bit crazy to you, they are. I have never seen So much precipitation along the west coast with nothing in between, a little bit in the east coast, but here's Vermont. We're talking around 1 inch total QPF. That's nothing major here. It picks up as you head east into Maine and New Brunswick and the Canadian Maritimes. But this is pretty phenomenal, even northwestern Mexico getting into the act. California's going to get much needed rainfall. The desert southwest. This is insane. Look at this. You can see as much as 3 to 4 inches of total precipitation in places such as Arizona, the Mogollon Rim, into Utah, and so forth. This is a huge shot of moisture that's coming in off the Pacific Ocean and mostly west of Mexico. This is subtropical Pacific air. Some of that is going to be reaching us for Thanksgiving Day. And what does it do to temperatures? It keeps things cool out west with a warming trend along the Mississippi River and points east. But about 3 days later, this will modify just a little bit. You can see pretty cold temperatures out to the west. And then you're looking at also a little bit colder in the northeast United States, but a little bit of a mix and not as dramatic. And because of our warmer than normal oceans, we have Tropical Storm Sebastian, a tropical cyclone. This is going to be taking a track toward the UK. That's it from here. Roger Hill at Wuthering Heights.